And welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another movie review. This time around, we're going to be talking about the new DC film Blue Beetle.
Okay, I want to fly. Let's do this. Yeah!
You gotta force it to come out.
What do you... You're a genius.
What? I know. But what I say?
No, 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 no,
Did you know what was gonna happen to my brother when you stuck him with this world-destroying thing?
So, DC's been in a bit of a kerfuffle as far as their films. Their animated series have been doing really well recently. I've been watching Superman. I'll have my review out for that when that's completed. But Blue Beetle is one of the newer films that came out. It's kind of ending this line of films that are slated out before James Gunn starts to proceed into his lineup of stuff. And it's one of the more obscure heroes, unless you're really into the comics or into the television series. The first time I personally knew of the character, the Blue Beetle, was in the animated series Young Justice. So getting to know him a little bit more from there and seeing how they're going to adapt it, we'll see how it goes. The first thing I'll say as far as this film, it was originally supposed to be a miniseries for Max, but James Gunn saw potential in it and decided to basically up the budget and make it a full-length film. Was it worth it? Here are my thoughts. So the film itself, the best way I can describe it, in my honest opinion, it's like Black Panther for the Latin community. That's the best way I can explain it. It has a wonderful like Latin flair to it because a Blue Beetle is supposed to be like this Latin superhero, and it really vibed for me and my community. So getting to see that was fun, but did it hinder kind of a little bit for the general audience? Not too much, but it had some flavor notes that I personally found endearing, but it could probably miss here and there. And some of the captions they used were not well translated, to be honest. They got away with a couple things, I'll be honest there. The writing itself, the plot of Blue Beetle, it's pretty simplistic. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's your typical origin story, and that's kind of what I feel. It's like a generic origin story, and then that's kind of where I'm falling with it, because the plot is, you know, our character Jaime Reyes gets home, family troubles, tries to find work, meets somehow through events, able to find a job where he somehow gets a hold of the scarab that gives him these abilities. You know, the hero's journey, things like that. It's pretty down to the basics as far as the plot. There is some heart, I will be honest. There is the writing. The writing's pretty standard. Nothing uplifting, nothing grand, nothing that will make you like, oh, that's crazy good. But there are moments that they do build up some level of like tear jerking, to say the least. It hits at points depending on people. But I can't really say more to that. It's a generic origin movie, and that's kind of where it falls. I think if they put this as a long form miniseries, it would have been a little bit better, I'll be honest. Because there's a lot. It's roughly a 2-hour film. There's a lot to take in, a lot of fun things. The casting for show, I think his name's Zolo, or I think that's how you pronounce his name. He does a really good job playing Jaime, and the rest of the cast, because it's a family kind of film. You're going into this film. I think it's PG-13. Let me double check that. I think it's PG-13. Yeah, it's PG-13. But it's I don't know. I don't know what I was hoping for. I was hoping it was gonna be entertaining, and I'll say it was. Now, is it entertaining enough to go see in the cinema? That's the next question. This is where it's been, like I said, 2023 has not been good for DC films, and that's where I felt like Blue Beetle was gonna bomb. And as far as this review is coming out until late, I felt ill the weekend after I watched it, so I didn't get a chance to properly review it. So I'm reviewing it a couple days later, so my memory is a little bit hazy, mostly because of the sickness. But I do remember fondly that I had fun watching it. It definitely, the money used hopefully was for the CGI, because you know you're getting a CGI final battle, and it definitely needed that. And the comedy in it, I think the most, it was George Lopez getting in there with his like slapsticks here and there. They were hit or miss depending on where it like lands. The cast themselves, the family, there's some surprisingly, when I was listening to other people's reviews, they found like did not enjoy, but there were some members like the sister character. A lot of people didn't like the sister character. I personally really enjoyed the family casting. Everyone was fun. Like for some reason, no one really liked the sister character. I really liked the sister character in the sense where it felt like an actual sister to Jaime, and everyone played a decent role. The grandma, she was a little cheesier than what it was, but you know, that's kind of where the plot went, and I was like, okay, we'll go with it. It's a little disappointing how they ended with her character, but I'm like, sure, why not? Let's just go with it. So like, and the score soundtrack, the soundtrack, like I said, it's a lot of Latin based soundtrack, which was fun in the beginning intro, midway, then they kind of transitioned to something else towards the end for the soundtrack. Because you know it's a DC film, you kind of gonna get that level of music during the sequences. The villains themselves were pretty generic. There were some very interesting developments towards the end, but it was like when you got to the end, so getting there took a long time. And overall, the plot was nothing really to write home about. I'll be honest here. Like, this film, I'm gonna give it a, like, wait for streaming, actually. That's what I'm gonna say. As much as I would like for people to go out and see this film, it's a fun film to go watch, definitely. But if it's not really on your radar, I would say just wait for it to come out on streaming. Yeah, that's my opinion as far as my review, because yeah, like I would want people to go see it, but I can't really vouch for that level. Like, it was fun, me and my brother enjoyed watching it, but like if I could have waited for streaming, I would have, and things, yeah, of that nature. Like, I generally did enjoy it, but there was like a few missteps here and there, and I really hope they'll keep Zolo as Jaime. I think I heard that James Gunn is trying to keep the same actor continuing in the role. Maybe not the same version of Blue Beetle we got in this film, but we'll see. I'm hoping as we wait, because as we all know, at the time of this recording, the writers and actors strike is still going strong, and we're getting to that point where we're not going to be getting that flow of content from those mediums. We'll see how that goes, and I'm hoping all the writers and actors are able to get a reasonable contract moving forward. because right now, as far as DC films are concerned, they really need a pick me up, definitely. But yeah, let me know if you guys are gonna go watch Blue Beetle. Have you watched Blue Beetle? Let me know down in the comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify. Leave a comment down below. If you're listening to this on any of the other podcast platforms, let me know through any of my social medias. So, thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya, see ya, see ya.